staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Following the legal ruling, Prince Harry ran to the media, shock, and participated in a sit-down interview with the BBC, claiming he does not see a world where he could bring Meghan and the kids back to the UK.
I think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen because the threat of William taking the titles away. Yeah. But I think once the titles get stripped, I think Harry's done.
Meghan Markle has burst into tears in a fake new podcast appearance.
Meghan Markle has finally done it.
She went on a podcast and accidentally lit a fire under her royal status. Not only is the internet dragging her over one of the cringiest podcast appearances we've seen in years, but now serious conversations about stripping her royal title are gaining traction. And yes, Meghan's in tears. But are they real or just another performance? Let's start with the moment that sparked it all. On April 28th, Meghan appeared as a guest on the Jamie Kern-Lima show. It was her first podcast appearance ever as a guest, not a host.
And from the jump,
the tone was off. Everything about it felt too polished, too perfectly staged. She spoke about vulnerability, struggle, empowerment, the usual PR buzzwords. But the delivery?
Robotic, rehearsed,
contrived. Then came the moment. Meghan appeared to cry, voice cracking,
eyes squinting,
pausing for emotion, but not a single tear dropped.
I have a letter from your husband and your kids. No one's ever seen this before.
So bad.
What is she doing? This is really emotional. I have full body chills right now.
For them to be able to look
telling
at
her how great she is.
Oh my God.
Their whole existence.
She loved us so much. It's very selfish of you. Really.
Whoa, okay.
Critics jumped in fast.
Megyn Kelly,
who's never held back when it comes to Meghan, broke it down on her own platform, replaying the clip and calling it out for what it looked like, a dry cry moment.
Except she didn't put eye makeup on. And she also is pretending that she's crying. And we did a zero in, like we zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight. Dan, look at this. I invite the viewers to take a close-up look at this. Where's the tear? There's nothing there. Look, it's an actor's trick. She just keeps wiping and wiping and wiping, so we think she has a heart.
Social media was split. Some fans defended her, claiming she's just emotional and misunderstood, but others weren't buying it. One tweet with over thousands of likes read, "She's acting like it's a Disney audition, not a podcast." And that was just the beginning. Shortly after, Meghan was spotted at a Beyoncé concert with Prince Harry. While she danced and posed,
Harry looked
miserable, out of place, uncomfortable, like a guy who lost his GPS in California.
The state of their marriage is and whether they're happy or they're unhappy. I mean, he doesn't look particularly happy, but then I don't think he has done for some time. The reason I say that is because I think that he's in a sort of alien world. You know, he was trained as a member of the royal family to be dutiful and do his bit, and he was very good at it.
Meanwhile,
her latest podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, has been slammed for being completely out of touch. She talks about school drop-offs as if she's summiting Mount Everest. And even worse, she sent a gift basket to the host signed Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Let's pause right there. She and Harry were stripped of the HRH title back when they stepped down from royal duties. They were told not to use it for commercial purposes.
And yet,
here we are.
Stop making fun of her for it. Now, my personal favorite moments from that interview were where she was talking about her relationship with Harry, and they call each other H and M, and it's all like this cute thing, and she was like, H. That man, he just loves me so much. She gave this entire tirade about how much Harry loves her and how amazing their family is. She did not make one comment about how much she loves her husband or what she does for him or what she contributes to their family. It was just like, he is so obsessed with me. It is so amazing. It was very, very odd, and everybody caught on to that. She also talks about parenting their 2 children and basically insinuates that she is the first woman to ever have to balance having a career and making it to school drop-off. It's like this whole dramatic thing. It's like, I'm sorry, you're not going to Mars. You're dropping your kids off to daycare and first grade. It's really not that big of a deal. And then of course the real crux of the interview was about her new brand As Ever, which is driven by her love of hosting and hospitality, which also took up a big portion of the interview. And in that conversation, now we're getting to my favorite part of this entire story, in that conversation about As Ever, she showed a basket that she had sent to the host of the podcast as a thank you for allowing her to come on, which sparked a whole other media firestorm. Now I want you to look at this. She sent a little basket, and here you can kind of zoom in here, and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
This sent British media into a frenzy, calling it a breach of royal agreements and accusing Meghan of clinging to a title she's no longer entitled to. And just as that backlash was heating up, her father Thomas Markle chimed in from the Philippines, begging her to reconcile and let him meet his grandchildren.
However, he does maintain that he would like to meet his grandchildren. Speaking of King Charles, Thomas Markle says, "I'm a grandfather, and he is King of England, but he too is a grandfather who would like to see his grandkids."
But Meghan's silence? Deafening. The public is turning. Polls show that 2/3 of Brits now support the complete removal of Harry and Meghan's royal titles. What started as just another awkward PR moment may now be the final straw for the royal family. But wait until you hear what Prince Harry just said on live TV, comparing his situation to Princess Diana's and claiming the royals might actually want him dead. Just when you thought Meghan's Cringe podcast would be the main headline, Prince Harry decided to drop a bombshell of his own. Grandpa BBC interview that left even royal insiders stunned. Fresh off losing his legal battle to keep taxpayer-funded security while visiting the UK, Harry went public.
In the interview,
he didn't just complain about the ruling, he claimed that because of safety concerns, he couldn't imagine a future where his family ever returns to the UK. And then came the real shocker. Harry hinted that the royal family might not even want him alive.
Prince Harry lost his fight for government-funded security when he is in the UK. Following the legal ruling, Prince Harry ran to the media, shock, and participated in a sit-down interview with the BBC, claiming he does not see a world where he could bring Meghan and the kids back to the UK.
He referenced Princess Diana's tragic death, drawing parallels between his situation and the way the institution allegedly failed to protect her. The suggestion that the establishment might be willing to let history repeat itself. Naturally, that sent the palace into damage control, again. But Harry wasn't finished. He insisted that he still misses the UK deeply and wants his kids to experience the country he grew up in. The problem? He also thinks he deserves the same level of security as a former prime minister. Not exactly a modest ask for someone who voluntarily left their official duties.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So, you know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children my homeland.
The royal family's stance was clear. If you walk away from the job, you walk away from the perks. According to reports, King Charles even offered Harry lodging at Buckingham Palace with full protection, but Harry declined. It seems he wanted the benefits on his terms.
Every time he has come, King Charles has offered him a lodging at, wait for it, Buckingham Palace. And guess what, Meghan? Buckingham Palace is empty at the moment, right? Charles is at Clarence House, William is in Windsor, so he could have the run of Buckingham Palace. And if he was at Buckingham Palace, he would receive full security. Guess what? Harry said no.
Critics tore into the interview, saying Harry can't have it both ways. You can't leave the monarchy. Launch a Netflix series trashing your family, then expect red carpet treatment when you visit. Then came the line that pushed things over the edge. Harry casually commented on his father's health, saying he doesn't know how long King Charles has left. That line was widely seen as tone-deaf and cruel, especially while Charles is actively battling health concerns. And here's where it gets even messier. Because Harry is suing a UK government department, the Home Office, King Charles legally cannot talk to him about the case. That's right, a family matter has now become a courtroom war, and the monarch is bound by neutrality.
So putting the blame on the strain of the relationship, on the king.
He says, my father won't speak to me, which, I mean, is talk about getting it slightly wrong. The reason the king doesn't speak to Harry, it's not because he won't speak to him, is he can't speak to him, because Harry is suing the king's ministers in the king's courts, and the king is what they call the fountain of justice. He's the head of the judiciary. If Harry had a conversation with him about his case, about his security, and now we know that Harry does have a tendency to immediately repeat conversations, whether in TV interviews or in books or in documentaries, that would completely undermine the case. I mean, it's what's called legal jeopardy.
At the core of the lawsuit is Harry's belief that the committee responsible for royal security didn't follow proper procedure when downgrading his protection. He claimed they failed to assess the specific threats he and Meghan face, from tabloid harassment to past military service fallout. But guess what? The High Court ruled against him twice. They found that the decision was legal and justified. That legal loss, combined with the public backlash from his interview, has only intensified one thing: pressure on the palace to fully cut off Harry and Meghan's remaining royal perks, including their titles. And Meghan, she's not exactly helping her case, because what she just did, with one card, one signature, and one over-the-top podcast move, might be the final straw. You're not going to believe how Meghan just dragged the Her Royal Highness title back into the spotlight after it was already stripped. So remember how Meghan and Harry were told they couldn't use the Her Royal Highness title anymore after stepping down from royal duties? That was a clear agreement. No HRH in public, no HRH in private business. But apparently Meghan didn't get the memo. Or she just didn't care. Because in her latest podcast stunt, Meghan sent a custom gift basket to the host, complete with a card signed, "With the compliments of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex." Yep, she actually wrote that. The internet went into meltdown mode. This wasn't just a slip-up, it looked like a deliberate power play. A way to flex royal prestige while pretending she's no longer part of the monarchy. And it didn't stop there. Sources close to the situation say Meghan still uses the HRH title in private letters and correspondence with friends, associates, and even podcast contacts. Some critics say that's even worse than using it publicly. It sends a message: I still think I'm royalty, even if the system doesn't agree. To many, this whole thing confirms what people have been whispering for years, that Meghan Markle isn't just obsessed with being royal, she's obsessed with appearing royal, and that's what infuriates the palace. Then, out of nowhere, her brother Thomas Markle Jr. gave an interview and dropped a brutal prediction. He claims Meghan will dump Harry the moment Prince William officially strips their titles.
I think what's going to happen, because the threat of William taking the titles away, and he rightfully so, he should. If somebody attacked my wife like that while she was ill, that's something you can never forgive. Somebody talks so much trash about, burns every single bridge, and then begs for forgiveness because their popularity sucks and they're in the gutter. And then you try and go crawling back, and you want to go back and you make this big story up. It's such garbage. But I think once the titles get stripped, I think Harry's done.
It's a bold claim, but coming from her own brother, it hit harder than a tabloid headline. Meanwhile, back in the UK, royal tempers are flaring. Harry's explosive interview didn't just rattle nerves, it outright angered the palace. Senior insiders say the royals are furious after Harry accused the monarchy of an establishment stitch-up over his security, and implied people might want him dead.
Interview where he attacked the royal family, where he claimed there was an establishment stitch-up, and when the delusional freak even suggested that people actually want him dead, has been a step too far.
This is a direct attack on the royal family, something totally against their never complain, never explain policy. For centuries, they've stayed silent, even through chaos. But Harry's public outbursts are breaking that tradition in the most chaotic way possible. Then, Meghan added fuel to the fire. Just hours after Harry's interview aired, Meghan posted a smiling photo of him and their kids in the Montecito Garden. The timing wasn't subtle, it was a loud, perfectly filtered, "We're fine without you," directed straight at Buckingham Palace.
No time in letting their feelings be known. Well, that's a rather giant FU, isn't it? They remarked to me, she reported. Featuring an idyllic image of Prince Harry walking through the gardens of their Montecito home, daughter Lilibet on his shoulders and son Archie's hand in his, its timing was far from accidental. That's the one thing the Duchess of Sussex does not have in common with the royal family, knowing the power of a well-timed image.
A royal insider called it what it was, a giant FU, not just to the institution, but to the king himself. The photo painted a dreamy, carefree life in California, while the UK was still spinning from Harry's comments. Put all of this together, the defiant Instagram, the HRH card, the podcast blunders, the family drama, and you've got a royal PR disaster. And now, insiders say Prince William is done playing nice. He allegedly despises Meghan and Harry, and has been pushing behind the scenes to get their titles revoked. A new poll even shows that 2/3 of Brits want them gone, stripped of their titles for good. But what happens if that actually goes through? Because Meghan may be smiling for Instagram, but behind the scenes, sources say she's terrified. Is this the moment Meghan Markle finally loses it all? When royal punishment becomes real? At this point, the royal family is done being polite. Behind the scenes, palace insiders say Prince William is pushing harder than ever to officially strip Meghan and Harry of their titles, once and for all. And after the podcast scandals, the fake crying, and Harry's BBC meltdown, he may finally get his way. The British public has had enough. Recent polling shows nearly 2/3 of Brits want Harry and Meghan's royal titles completely revoked. No more Duke and Duchess, no more royal privileges, and certainly no more HRH signatures on podcast freebies.
A staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles. A new poll by Find Out Now has revealed that most of the public is supporting the king in this family feud, ongoing family feud, after Harry's bombshell BBC interview. It follows the Court of Appeal's decision to not overturn the ruling on his security in the UK.
But this goes deeper than public perception. It's about trust, tradition, and control. Sources say William is furious over Harry's repeated public attacks, especially the one where he coldly referenced King Charles's health, implying his own father might not have long left. To William, that wasn't just disrespect, that was personal. Some insiders even claim William despises Meghan and Harry now, not just for what they've said, but for how they've monetized their royal connection while bashing the institution that gave it to them. And the big question, what happens if the titles are stripped? For Meghan, that title is more than just status, it's her entire brand. Without the Royal Association, her podcast deals, book opportunities, and influencer status could all start to crumble. The royal fairy tale she's marketed might lose its magic overnight. Now the final move is in King Charles's and Prince William's hands. Will they make the cut official? Will Harry and Meghan be left without a crown, a title, or even a bridge back to the royal family? That's where we leave it to you. What do you think? Should the titles be stripped? Let us know in the comments. We're pinning the best take. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.